So if you've been on my channel before, you know I love doing TV and movie inspired lookbooks, and with Halloween coming up, I thought it'd be the perfect time to finally turn to cartoons for some inspo as well. I asked you guys for your fave fashionable characters on my Instagram, and today I've put together the top responses, but I'd also love to know who your all-time favorite cartoon character is, regardless of style. So let me know in the comments. Mine will forever and always be Zuko.
Hello, Zuko here.
Oh, also side note, I did not ignore the anime responses. I'm saving them up for a whole separate video, so stay tuned for that one as well. So I thought we'd start off with a classic, Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Since the series did originate back in the late 60s, early 70s, there's no surprise that her outfit has a retro, almost mod feel to it. So for my look, I tried to keep a touch of that 60s vibe whilst giving it a more modern twist as well. Similar actually to how Sarah Michelle Gellar's wardrobe in the live action remake just gave that simple nod to the original without being too exact.
Did I really wear that years ago? That jacket with that skirt?
Honestly, as long as you stick to a similar color palette, you can pretty much adapt the look however you like with your own personal touch. If you do want to keep her signature elements in mind though, then I think the key is her headband and also her neck scarf. Okay, there were a ton of requests for the Powerpuff Girls, but I have actually already made a full video on adapting their looks around this time last year, so I'll leave a link to that if you guys are interested, but I still wanted to include just one new look for my favorite of the trio, Buttercup.
Buttercup, because it also begins with a B.
As a kid, I always wanted to be Buttercup, and I think it was because she was the toughest fighter and I wanted to be a wrestler. But anyway, since she was a badass, I tried to continue that energy into this outfit with the darker, edgier accessories to balance her signature bright green color. And I love how the harness ended up acting as a modern take on the black from her original dress and marries up the top and skirt combo I wore today. Once again, this one is totally up to your interpretation, so you can just go wild, but if you are planning on using it as a costume, I do think that it would look more intentional if it were to be a group costume, so to complete the squad with the other two members. But I mean, if you're anything like me and you have no friends, I just decided to add this little Buttercup charm just as a subtle reminder to people of who you're supposed to be. I was not at all surprised with the number of requests for Daria, as it's definitely an iconic look that is actually super wearable for those of you with a grunge element to your style as well. Just like most of these looks, I was trying to make it work with items I already had in my wardrobe, so obviously it's not an exact costume. The main difference is just the jacket really though, as mine is more of an army green with an oversized parka sort of style to it, but I feel like it still suits the grunge theme, so it's okay. For me, the main selling point to pull this off as a costume is definitely got to be the glasses. Mine are actually more of a square shape rather than her traditional round, but the black frames still do the trick. Just please do excuse the terrible glare on them.
And I'm so defended that I actively work to make people dislike me so I won't feel bad when they do. Can I go now?
Some of you were more specific with your Daria recommendations, so I decided to also throw in a Jane Lane look. Plus, once again, I thought this could be cool if you're looking for some duo costume ideas. I do love that this could easily be worn any night of the year though, not just during spooky season. I mean, it's just your simple all black base with the statement being the red coat, and this vinyl one I actually thrifted a couple of years ago, and although probably not the same texture as hers, I thought it was the perfect length. I just kept the same accessories from my previous look with the lace-up boots and backpack, plus of course you've got to add some silver piercings and the iconic black shades. Probably one of the most requested cartoons was Winx Club. Sadly, I didn't have the right items to pull off all of the girls' looks, but I am recreating 2 today and decided to take inspo from the OG looks of season 1. First up, we have my personal fave, FLORA. I think she has the cutest outfit of the bunch, and I did my best to emulate it. The skirt is the real standout in my opinion. I think this floral mini was the perfect match, and honestly, the pink and green color combo isn't something I would have paired together on my own, but I actually think is really fun. I do believe her accessories were actually green as well to represent her nature magic, but they aren't exactly the easiest to find, so I went for gold instead and finished it off with the pink heels. I will say that unless someone is a fan of the show, they probably won't get this one as a costume, but I'd actually totally wear this as just a cute everyday spring summer look.
Mitzi's friends are very boring. They're also antisocial.
The other Winx Club member I decided to go with was MUSA, and I thought that this would be a good alternative to FLORA because her season 1 casual look has more of a relaxed, almost tomboy element to it, which just makes it even more wearable for everyday use. You guys know baggy jeans are my favorite to style, so I felt very comfortable with this one. Usually hers do sag a little bit lower to show the red band of her underwear, but you could also opt for a belt instead, or in this case my jeans already had a trim to give a similar effect, so I just didn't worry about it. Sadly, I don't have a pair of red sneakers, so we had to go with white ones, but I did manage to team this red one shoulder singlet that's practically spot on to hers. Of course, I had to put my hair into little space buns though, because I feel like that is the signature to her season 1 look, and without it, you really wouldn't be able to guess who I am. Moving on to everyone's favorite goth girlfriend, Sam from Danny Phantom. Out of all of the looks today, this one probably feels the most costumey to me, mostly due to the purple stockings and also the fact that I didn't have a top with a purple graphic, so I just had to make do by cutting out a piece of purple felt. So it doesn't exactly feel polished and something I would happily wear on an everyday basis, but if you did ditch those two elements, I feel like this could easily become an outfit fit for an e-girl. On the flip side of that, to get a more exact replica, you might want to consider throwing on a black wig and actually DIYing your own black skirt to have the same green grid pattern, because I couldn't find anything like it online, which is why I went for this one with the more minimal green stitching.
How do I get through the thick head of a 14-year-old boy?
Mind if I join you?
She surrendered her individuality for a boy. I'm so proud of her!
Totally Spies was one of my absolute favorite shows to watch as a kid, and even now I just love the fact that they didn't actually have the characters wear the same outfit every single episode, which means there were a lot of super cute early 2000s fits to choose from. The first one that was screaming my name was this super cute purple look from Alex. Originally, I was going to make my purple look Mandy inspired because I love her sassy aesthetic, but I already had all of the elements to recreate this Alex one, so that's what we're rolling with. I think that this monochromatic combo is adorable and something I'd 100% wear in a heartbeat. You guys already know I'm all aboard for the cardigan trend, and teaming it with this matching mini backpack is really letting me live my early 2000s wardrobe dreams. Which, by the way, do keep in mind, all of these Totally Spies inspired looks clearly aren't for costume ideas because they're not iconic enough for anyone at all to recognize who you're supposed to be. So it's just a little bit more of wearable inspo from cartoon characters, which I think is just as fun. Next up, we have a look from Sam, who has a lot of cute outfits in her signature color of green. It was very hard to choose one, but I ended up piecing together this very Y2K mall girl ensemble, I suppose, with the cropped length of the pants. And also, once again, that color combo of pink and green is popping up. Actually, I did notice going through a lot of different cartoons that pink, purple, and green seem to be a very popular choice, especially for female characters. This isn't really a look I thought I'd like at all, but once I put it on, I was actually kind of feeling it. Perhaps not as relevant as some of the others, since it is too niche for a costume, and yet somehow probably too costumey for a lot of people's everyday wear. So it kind of just lives in this weird in between, but I'm loving it regardless. So to round out the trio, we have Clover, who 6-year-old me was dying to be, by the way. And although she represented the color red with her spy suit, she seemed to wear a lot of pink when she was off duty. So I took inspo from this particular look I found because it was the perfect excuse to finally break out this denim mini skirt I thrifted that is pretty much as early 2000s as you can possibly get, and sadly I didn't have the pink Uggs to truly nail the look, but decided to go with the white sandals to tie in the crossbody bag. Lastly, although her top in this particular scene was just plain, I did notice that they often had cute and girly graphics on their baby tees, so I layered this one to complete the look, and I think that it is just a very nice finishing touch. So those were my 10 looks for today though, guys. Let me know which one ended up being your favorite and what other inspired by lookbooks you want to see coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time, or maybe even over on my Instagram at Steal the Spotlight.